you doing, man?
I'm doing very well.
You put together an amazing EP.
Thank you.
Your consciousness level. It's a task, I think, for artists to be able to, if you give a damn, sometimes to balance the consciousness with just the entertainment part and still make the consciousness entertainment. I don't know if you do that purposely, or it's just what comes out, when you put the pen to the paper. But you put together a really impactful, informative, conscious, present EP, and it's speaking on a lot of issues. You got a song, There's a Lot Going On, though, that just gives us a real deep insight to who you are and what you've gone through with your journey.
Right.
And you didn't hold back anything.
Yeah, I know.
Was that the purpose?
Yeah, when I set out to write that song, it was originally the intro to the project, actually, and I just figured that I would lay it all down and leave no stone unturned, no question really, left to be asked about where I've been for the last 2.5, 3 years. And also in doing that, I was able to give a voice and a perspective to a lot of people that are overlooked or don't feel like they could talk about the things that they have going on in their own lives that, I mirrored in that song, like mental health issues. Mm-hmm. Something that a lot of people just aren't ready to talk about, especially in the black community, especially black men. It's very taboo. It's very outside of the norm for black men to think it's okay to see a therapist or anything like that. It's all just, it's shied away from. And I think my purpose in making music is to tell my truth as fully as I can. So if by doing that I can make somebody else feel comfortable in their truth, then that's an accomplishment to me.
Wow. In this song, Heather, Vic talks about dealing with depression and also trying to wean himself off the medication that you were taking, right? What is it, Adderall, or what were you taking?
There was a lot of medications going on in there.
Yeah.
Some of them prescription, some of them not. Those things start mixing and combining in ways they're not supposed to. Yeah, it send somebody off the deep end. But that's why I put it all in there, just so it's like people could either relate directly to the things that I've been through and the struggles I was dealing with, or be able to find a mirror to their own situation in mine.
You said you got writer's block at some point, I think, when the Adderall wore off. Was the medication were you dependent on it to be creative?
Thought I was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was at a couple different points in life. But what I came to realize was that I'm far stronger mentally sober, just in my natural state. I think it's just that you start getting to a point where it's like you might not start using drugs in that way where you feel dependent on it or you lean on it as a crutch, but as you move on and something becomes associated with your process or just with your way of life, when you try to remove that, then maybe it'll give you this illusion that you needed it when you didn't in the first place,
That's true. It's like coming out of an abusive relationship, and how some people feel like, I'm not going to be able to survive without this person, whatever, and then you realize that was a false stimulant.
Did it affect your relationships, like your personal, intimate relationships?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my personal relationships.
Because you talk about
one
of them in a song. There's a scene that you paint about being in a closet with your girl and y'all having it out. Well, you wrote it, man. I'm not making this up.
Truth teller.
I know I did.
How bad did it get?
No, I mean, we've spoken, and those situations were just something that I'm not proud of at all, and just things I had to go through in order to learn and grow and, be able to move forward as a better man. And so, things got bad, and I definitely take my responsibility for that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, that was necessary in my journey, I believe, for me to be able to get to this point where I am now and have the understanding of my past and my vision for the future.
Okay, Vic Mensa is here. One of the most interesting things too I found. Well, the whole song, there's a lot going on. He got a bunch of songs. We all have heard. We play 16 Shots, Dynasty, Danger, Shades of Blue is really dope. And there's a lot going on. You know what you did, man. I think you gave. There's a lot of walls and barriers between artists, so-called journalists, and the public. So so it's hard to gauge what's real and what's not. For me, as a fan of all this, I always want to know how the process works and how did things arrive to where they are. You being with Rock Nation, for example, and you talking about, it was a line in there that I highlighted because I thought it was interesting because it reminds you that this is a business. When you say Ye and Hov getting into it over me, trying to do a joint venture, and good music is still found, but it's that Rock Boys Save Money life. I'm not saying it correctly. I'm not the.
That was a good flow. Yeah, that's what going on.
Like, damn, dude, you destroying my
rapping it like MC Shan.
Yeah, I tried to. Damn.
I'm playing.
Back to Shan. I couldn't get Kane out of that, dog. You couldn't give me Kane. What was it that it's still competitive even amongst brothers? So they were was it like a tug of war between good music and Rock Nation, or how did that work? It
was just a situation. I mean, I had the situation with Rock Nation already going on and just in the works before I met Kanye. But that was around the time when we made You Mad and we were gonna release that, and so it was just conversations, but everything works out the way it does for a reason, and it's all family. I talked to Kanye, on his birthday a couple days ago. Talked to Hov a couple days ago. Yeah, it's all love.
It's all love. All right. Vic is very well, what do they call that now? Media trained.
Never been media trained.
Never been media trained?
He's just
I just know tough conversations, man,
Yeah.
He's hanging around bosses.
This is just, Vic Mensa is here. I want to play this song, man, and open up these phone lines and ask you about a couple of things that's going on in the world today, because you've been very public about your opinion
down
on
like
things.
This. Is it part of your grown man? Is it part of your new attitude?
Yeah, my whole process with writing the music on this EP and the music I've been writing for the album, is just very autobiographical.
Yeah.
Just, details, good or bad, just putting them in the record. And that helps me come to terms with shit and be able to move past it and,
Get through it.
Yeah, get through it all.
Sway mentioned something earlier, and it sparked a thought in my head when he was talking about kind of finding a balance between consciousness and entertainment. And you've been in a lot of headlines lately, and I don't want to dissect them, but what's crazy to me is sometimes when propaganda or scandal will overshadow an artist's actual artistry. Do you feel that way at all?
No, I don't feel that way. I mean, I think that, there's always going to be things in our digital age with Twitter and Instagram. It's always going to be things to distract people that want to be distracted. But, I still find that since I released this project, the majority of the people that hit me up are hitting me up, because they resonate with the music. And so that's what I pay attention to.
I pay attention to Vic. I find Vic is one of our. He ain't. It's not probably what he aiming for, but we choose our leaders. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's a leader. And so when I read tweets like, I always love when artists who have a platform kind of interject in what's going on in the political field, and you don't hold your tongue, in regards to what happened in Orlando, which is a tragedy.
Wow.
Couple of things you said is, this is why we can't let Donald Trump be president. We have to stop vicious and violent hate before it's too late. I'm not blaming the shooting on Trump, but the hateful rhetoric he preaches and the type of supporters he attracts inflame these kind of issues. If you're too blind to see that Trump's hateful comments towards Mexicans and unwillingness to denounce the KKK and divisive comments about Muslims are fueling hate in this country, you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask if you're a racist. Give that man a round of applause right there.
That's
Now,
real.
whether I'm a Trump fan or not, the round of applause is for your unapologetic way of commenting on things that are going to impact folks' lives.
I've been fighting the Trump goons
Yeah.
ever since I said that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like giving dude, name time on the air, so I just call him dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, just seeing that tragedy, and I would never want to take something away from that, and my heart goes out to those families of those victims. But just seeing that, just immediately, I couldn't help but think that, this is the direction that we would roll further down were dude to end up in office. And it's just, you can try to put these little band-aids on the situation, like him saying that he's going to ban all Muslims from entering the country and going to build a wall between us and Mexico. But the shooter in Orlando was born in America. Yeah. He's been in the country. He's not getting banned from anywhere. And, I've been studying just the thought patterns behind these cult movements like ISIS and people like that, the same ideas that went into 80 million people following Hitler. And it's alienated and isolated and people that are on the fringe of their societies that end up joining these type of movements and doing these type of things. So when you say, I'm banning all Muslims from the country, you get somebody like the dude in Orlando who you can't ban, but by hearing you say that, he's gonna feel very marginalized. He's not gonna feel included. He's not gonna feel wanted, and that attracts people towards situations like this. So that's just fueling the fire for horrendous events like this to take place. And so a lot of people were asking me, what does Trump have to do with this? What does Trump have to do with this? It's not that Trump made this happen. It's that he's always saying hateful things that will upset and wound people, and people from those wounded perspectives and places lash out, and nobody needs that.
Pablo tour was announced. Have y'all talked about you going on that at all?
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah,
we've had some conversations.
Yeah, so it's in possibility then.
Yeah,
you know the answer, Vic.
I don't know the answer.
You don't know the You know the answer, Vic. We'll see when the lineup is announced. Shades of Blue is another track that I like off this project, and you talk about what's going on in Flint a little bit on that too, and I know you went to Flint and performed that 16 shots, and you're very conscious of what's happening there too. I want to tell people to go listen to this music. I don't want to talk about it all of it, but it's a really good project. Right now, it's my favorite. And it's hard to be my favorite, but this one is my favorite. And I think we should celebrate Heather B. Since we got him here and we can't let him leave. I think we should celebrate with a 5 fingers of death.
Oh, shit. Wow.
You are now entering the 5 fingers of death.
DJ Wonder plays 5 unique beats meant to test your
get
lyrical
like some
stamina.
hip-hop, like 95.
This guy's crazy.
Many have tried.
I'm the best. This is just another chance for me to prove it.
But many have failed.
Give me some hip hop.
You said
It's
95
the 5
BPM.
fingers of
death. Okay. All right. You got that, DJ Wonder?
Let's see what I got. And if you don't like it, we'll switch it up.